Okay, guys. Now, remember I told you I was taking you to hell. Not literally, quite literally, but I am taking you into the older section of the cemetery, which is nicknamed Hell's Gate. Now, if you guys are talking about a little over 20 years ago, before the Concordia Heritage Association was formed, this cemetery kind of falls in between being being the responsibility of either the city or the county. So for a long time, you really didn't have anyone taking care of the cemetery here. If you guys remember back in the old days, who remembers how the gates used to be wide open? People used to come in here and party all night. Used to get kind of wild and crazy. The unfortunate side effect of that was you used to have a lot of vandalism in here. And the vandalism that would occur back in those days, especially we had no security or anything of that nature, for some reason in this area would be of the darker nature. By that I mean you have a lot of the monuments out here where you will actually find the crosses that have been taken off the graves and have been put with cement or concrete back onto the graves upside down. You have a lot of the religious statues or icons that will be missing heads. You can find a lot of things back here we found voodoo dolls, we found Santeria rituals back here, we found headless chickens, all that kind of good stuff. As a matter of fact, let me show you guys a picture. Let me see the old haunted iPad. I'll show you guys a picture of something that we found out here. This was actually in 2009. Believe it or not, on my very first ever ghost tour that I ever did, I was actually as a guest. Just kidding. This was taken on my first ghost tour. I was standing right where you guys are standing. We noticed something funky on these graves over here, right behind me. This one right back here. And we went over to check it out. And that's what it was. What it was the actual bottom half of a cow's skull, the jaw. And it was wrapped in a pair of men's underwear. Yes, they're tidy whities. And it had red candle wax dripped all over the outside of it. There was a scroll next to it. And it was partially unrolled. And from what we could read of the part we could see, it was a love spell. It said something to bind your man to you forever and ever. I don't know what that has to do with a cow skull and some chonies, but that's what the person's intention was. This seems to be a hot spot for weirdly some kind of reason, that kind of material. A few months back, we actually found some voodoo dolls right here on the corner of that fence. And a few months before that, they actually found a ashtray that looks like a rattlesnake, which gave the security guard a heart attack because he thought it was real. But when he got close to it, it was filled with candle wax and crystals and petals and herbs. So it was obviously something ritualistic. For some reason, and we don't know why, people are drawn to do that back here in particular. So when we go back here, you guys will kind of get that vibe. A lot of people, when we come back here, start to feel sick, start to feel dizzy. They just don't like being back there. So if you're sensitive to it, you might notice that. If you guys do see anything funky or weird on any graves, we actually found some Santeria stuff last month. Just let me know so I can let the security know, because they determine what they decide to do with stuff like that. I would caution you not to touch it, not to mess with it, and never take anything from a grave, because that's bad juju that you do not want to take home with you.